We're now going to move into the standing poses. So position your feet so that they're at least 3 feet apart, so you're in a very wide stance. And we're going to start on the right hand side to begin. Let your arms float up to your chest, extend the arms and hinge forward and over your hips, keeping the body in a straight line. Turn the head to look up to the outstretched palm and give lengthening through the whole of your torso, lengthening your hips away and your head away from the whole of your torso as you continue to think of your breath. And again, you can choose to hold any of these poses for as long as you wish. Turning the feet, lengthening up through the body, inhaling, and as you exhale, sliding the body out and over to the left. Now you may wish to practice against a wall if you think you're going to be leaning forward, just to get the alignment right in your body, or if you're beginning. And coming out of that with poise, we're going to now move into Warrior 2, and Steve and Rebecca are going to do this together in a pair. So I'm going to demonstrate the posture singly, and Rebecca and Steve are going to demonstrate it together. From there we're going to bend the knees and come forward, dropping forward into a forward bend, getting the elbows down to the floor, endeavouring to straighten the knees, keeping the hips in line with the heels. And really feel that lovely stretch through the back. Again, be aware of your breath. As you begin to walk your hands around to your outside foot, turn the toes out and away, and just let the body drape over that straight leg. Toes to face the centre of the room, turn back to the centre, walk the feet in a little and come up slowly. Effortlessly and changing sides. Again, check that your feet are really wide apart. Let the hands float up to the chest, move into the lunge and extend the arms. And some deep breaths. And coming back to the centre, bending the knees, hinging forward from the hips. Again, feel that lovely stretch through the lower back. And begin to walk your hands around to that outstretched foot. Dropping the body out and over that straight leg. And a few breaths to let the body just relax into the stretch. Turning the feet so they're facing the centre of the room, walking the feet in. And just uncurling one vertebra at a time. We're now going to move into the side angle stretch. So we need to be against the wall, perhaps, so that we keep ourselves in good alignment. We're going to let the hands come up to the chest, move into the stretch, and I'm going to show you the easy version where my elbow is just on my knee, and you're going to lengthen out of the hips. And Rebecca and Steve are showing you slightly harder versions. Rebecca's got her hand in front of her foot and Steve has got his hand behind the foot, showing you a stronger stretch through the torso. And coming out of that with effortless ease, they're going to come back to the centre, change feet, so the toes are pointing in the direction in which they're going to lunge to. You're going to move into that lunge. And Rebecca's going to keep all of that torso moving out and away from her hips. Lovely work. And just opening through that hip, pushing the heel into the floor and coming up to standing slowly. Very nice. And now we're going to move into the intense side stretch pose, where we turn our back toes out slightly and the front toes out slightly. So we've got our back and front toes out. Left room for our hips. I'm going to show you the more difficult hand position. We're going to hinge forward from our hips, and the idea is that we're getting our chest to our thigh, chest to knee, not so much head to knee. And Rebecca's showing you the hands clasped, and Steve is showing you the hands joined at the elbow as he's lengthening through his spine, and just letting your heads lead as you come back up to standing. Just changing the feet again. Just make sure that your toes are turning out slightly and that you have left enough room for your hips. As you begin to hinge forward from the hips, taking it forward. That's lovely. Can you get any lower? That's lovely. And coming up slowly and effortlessly with your head leading. And taking a nice deep breath. I'm going to show you the slightly harder version of Warrior One, and Steve and Rebecca are going to show you with their heel up against the wall. So we're going to move into, if your balance is really good and you can tuck your hips under, we're going to be able to do this one effortlessly and easily, tucking under with the hips, just letting the hands float up, or if it's too difficult to bring your hands above your head, you can hold your hands at this point. And just letting the hands come up above the head, pushing back with that heel. If you can get your heel down, that's fantastic too. We're going to move into a rotating forward bend from here. So we're going to hinge from our hip joint, take the opposite hand across to the outside of the foot and move into a twist. Now if you can't bring your hand to the outside, Steve's showing you how to bring your hand to the inside of your foot and still achieve the pose. Come out of it, come around to the centre, bring both hands either side of your foot and come up slowly and effortlessly. And changing sides. Again, we're going to move into that lunge, trying to keep that heel as far down as we can. Thinking up out of the hips. And when you feel ready, hinging forward from your hips and taking the opposite hand to the outside of the foot. And moving around for that twist. Keep the breath happening. And again, you're free to hold any of these poses for as long as you feel you need to. Here we are in the lunging twist to the wall. As you can see, the leg nearest the wall is the leg that lunges. The heel is up from the wall. And with a lengthened spine, we begin to rotate the body towards the wall, using the hands to get a little bit more twist through the upper torso. And again, be aware of your breath, be aware of the poise of your head on top of your spine. Keep tucking under with the hips and pelvis. And when you move out of it with grace and poise and move to the other side. Make sure that your stance is wide enough, that you're actually tucked under, and that your back is one flat piece. So you're actually trying to widen across your shoulder blades. If you can look at Steve and Rebecca's necks, you can see that there aren't any folds of skin, that their necks are long and straight. And as they come back to the centre, again with that poise, we're going to move into the half moon. So we're going to move into that balance as we begin to bend the supporting leg. Bring the other hand down towards the wall. Again, direct the weight of the head off the spine. Keep that breathing happening. When you come out of it, always the thought of the head leading you. As you come out of it with poise and grace and move to the other side, moving into that lunge. Being aware of your breath. And coming out of it with some poise and some grace. We're going to now do some back stretches. So we're going to need to get that chair that you had and place it against the wall so that we can use the chair to lengthen away from. And as Steve and Rebecca are getting into position here to do the back stretches, if you don't have a chair, you can use the wall. We're going to direct our sitting bones forward and away from our torso. We're going to lengthen and perhaps even drop a little through our shoulder blades as we bring the weight back through the heels and through the ball of the feet, directing the knees forward and away. So the back is lengthening and widening, the knees are releasing forward and away as you hold that back stretch for a few breaths. And this is the downward facing forward bend. You may like to drop your head, get your chest towards your knees and cross your arms around your ankles. Just using your arms to get a little bit more happening through your upper torso. And that's lovely. And Rebecca's breathing deeply to encourage on the exhalation the muscles to release. On the inhalation we're thinking of them lengthening. On the exhalation we're thinking of them softening. So from there we're going to move into the downward facing dog pose. So we're going to bring our heels up against the wall and endeavour to drop our chest between our arms. So we're making a letter V with the body. We're going to swing through, keeping the body long and coming back and up. So we're going to do that a few times, breathing in as we come forward, out as we come back, and in as we come forward, out as we come back. And when we come back, just taking it down and just resting for a moment in the prayer position and coming back into the pose of the child for a moment, just in between.